Hi, as you're sitting there today watching this video, we're going to talk about a very important subject that may be affecting you right now. We're going to talk a little bit about posture. As you're sitting there, are you paying attention to how you're sitting, what your posture is, what kind of angle your spine is at? Postural problems can manifest in many ways, and many of them are preventable or correctable once you're aware. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about posture, things that can be affected by the posture, things you can do to improve your posture. Now, it's been estimated about 90% of the energy of the body is used in keeping our spatial awareness against gravity. So in other words, about 90% of the energy that your body is using, it is being done just to keep you upright against gravity, keep you moving through the gravitational field. So that's the more energy you use in those postural stresses is less energy that is available for other functions such as healing, thinking. So posture is a very important part of our life. So let's get into it a little bit. Now, most people, they'll see major postural problems in somebody. We're all aware, you've seen the people walking down the mall, especially in the elderly with the big slumped shoulders. That's pretty easy to spot. But what people may not realize is that those problems started to a much lesser degree. Maybe just a slight forward shift in the shoulders or just a slight forward shift in the head. So we're going to talk about some of these more subtle signs and more subtle postural problems because it's much better to address them when they're subtle than when they're severe. Now, when you're sitting, you should be sitting with your back up against the back of your chair. You should be sitting up fairly straight. Too often, the chairs that we sit in, the couches, the sofas, even the cars we drive, promote bad posture while we're sitting. The hips will shift forward in the chair, we'll slump forward, and over time this actually becomes a comfortable way to sit, even though it's creating much more stress on my body than it should be. So when you're sitting, make sure that you're sitting up nice and straight. The spine should be straight, the shoulders back. Okay. Now another postural deviation that's very common is from the side. When you look at somebody from the side, or if you look at yourself in a mirror from the side, your ears should be about level with the middle of your shoulder. That puts the least amount of stress through the neck and through the spine. A very common problem that we find in our office is what's called forward head posture. And when you look at a person from the side, the ears won't be lined up with the shoulders. They will actually be shifted forward quite a bit. And that creates a tremendous amount of stress in the neck, in the upper back. So a lot of people who have chronic shoulder tiredness, chronic knots in the shoulders, a lot of times if you look at them, it's a postural problem. Their head is shifted too far forward. And what I want you to think about with this is picture carrying a bowling ball. Your head is about the weight of a bowling ball. So if I carry a bowling ball and I carry it in close to my body, I can carry it all day long. But the further out I get, the harder it is to hold it, the less time I'm going to be able to hold that ball up because of the stress that that's creating. The head is the same way. The further that head shifts forward, the more work that your neck muscles and your upper back muscles have to do to keep it upright against gravity. And as that stress builds up, it can cause a lot of the issues: neck pain, shoulder pain, the upper back pain. Something a lot of people when they come to our office will say, "Oh yeah, I hold all my stress through here." Well, it's not always just that emotional and mental stress that we're holding through there. It's the physical stress of that improper posture. And these improper postural distortions over time can create many problems that we see patients for all the time. And many things that you may not even be aware are actually coming from those postural distortions. Chronic back pain, chronic neck pain, even headaches because of the stress that this is causing on the body. Because of the stress it is creating on a daily basis and the work that our muscles and our ligaments and our spine are having to do just to keep us upright. As the years go on, we think a lot of things as, well, that's just a part of aging. But a lot of these things aren't a part of aging. They're a part of improper aging, advanced aging, because we are not paying attention to the little things. So I'm going to go into a few small things that you can do to help with your posture, and both with buying devices and just with things that you're doing on a daily basis. One of the big issues we find, especially with men who do a lot of sitting, if you're at your desk or you do a lot of driving, A lot of men tend to carry their wallet in their back pocket. Now the problem with that is if you're sitting on that wallet, it's going to create a distortion in the pelvis. It's going to twist your pelvis, even just a slight bit. It might be a 1/4 inch, it might be a 1/2 inch. Now, if you're doing that for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, probably not a big issue. But people who are at a desk all day long or driving in a car all day long, when you have that slight 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch stress twisting the pelvis out for 5, 6, 7 hours a day, over time that's going to become an issue. So one thing, don't sit on your wallet. If you're driving, if you're sitting, pull that wallet out, pull it to the side, put it in a front pocket. That's going to make a big difference. The other thing, when you're sitting, pay attention to how you sit. Make sure you're not slouched. Make sure that your butt is up against the back of the chair, that your shoulders are up and back to minimize those stresses. In our office, there are different devices that people can use to help with their posture. And I've got a couple of them here. Now there's different products for this. This is it's basically a little airbag. You can put air in it and inflate it to different levels. And what you do is you sit on that. And by sitting on this, it actually forces your body into the proper alignment. So when you're sitting a long time at a desk, and patients who use these will find that they have less back fatigue after sitting for a long period of time. Other products, a back brace for when you're sitting. A lot of the chairs that we use are not designed to give us proper support for the back. The product we use actually slides over the back. You can use this in a car, you can use this on an office desk, and it actually keeps the proper lumbar curve in your spine. It forces your spine into that proper posture. Again, it holds you in that proper posture for the period that you're sitting there to eliminate a lot of the stress and a lot of the fatigue that'll develop. Now for the neck, a proper pillow is very important. What we're supposed to have, when you look at somebody from the side, you should have a curve towards the back of your neck. A good pillow is going to allow you, how this has a roll here, it's going to allow you when you lay on your back to keep that proper curve on your neck, to eliminate the stress of losing that curve through the night. Now these things are all simple, small things, but little things added up over time are what truly make a difference. A lot of times we'll get patients into our office, and most time what patients will ask for is, can you give me some strengthening exercises? Well, what we found is very few people actually need strengthening exercises. What they need are stretching exercises. Because what happens with improper posture is certain muscles will tighten up, others will become longer, and what you need is a symmetry between one side of the spine, front and back. So if parts of your muscles are contracting and shrinking, they need to be stretched out. So your chiropractor can actually give you a stretching routine that's designed for you, your tight muscles, your tight ligaments, that are going to give you the most amount of benefit in the least amount of time. So what we talked about today is posture and how important it is. It's a very small thing until it becomes a problem, and it can become a very big problem. So there's little things that you can do on a daily basis that are going to make a difference, not only for the short term, but in the long term. Because oftentimes patients are, they want to what's the exercise I can do that gets me feeling better? They'll do them, and then when they get to feeling better, they quit doing those same exercises. Stretching, taking care of your posture, taking care of your spine are things that you should be doing on a daily basis for the rest of your life. When you feel bad, when you feel good. So talk to your chiropractor about postural problems, about stretching routine, about adjustments to make sure the spine and those muscles are in proper position so that not only do you feel better today, but you will feel better and avoid problems in the future. Thank you.